Hello, scholars. As promised, this is going to be a quick video on our critical assignment that we have coming up here real shortly. Hopefully, for many of you, you've already been working your way through this critical assignment, and the intent of this video is just to hopefully answer any of the lingering questions you might have. I know for a lot of you anticipate, what do I expect? So I'm going to try to answer that here today so that maybe you can apply this to what you've already done, tweak it if need be, and get us as we move forward. I hope I'm going to try to answer all the questions that I anticipate you having, any issues that you might have, so that we can all get and move forward in this process smoothly. So what I've done is I've taken a number of screenshots, and I'm going to talk my way through some of these screenshots so that we're all on the same page. So to start with, this is straight out of week 8. This is the description of the critical assignment. I'm going to read this through. Every person who has worked for an organization has always had a great idea of how to make the organization better. Now is your chance. This assignment will allow you to implement a change process for an organization. This can be an organization from the past or one in which you are currently employed. Using the 5-star model, pinpoint the areas that you need to be changed in order to facilitate a more effective and efficient working organization. Create a narrated PowerPoint to illustrate the change process and identify each specific area that would be affected by your proposal of innovation and change. The organization can be public, private, or non-profit entity. PowerPoint slides must not exceed 10, and the presentation must have a clear intro and conclusion with founded reasoning. Be sure to include detailed elements from the reading. Cite your references. All right, so let me break down a little bit of what we have in here. Okay, so this is our critical assignment. Remember, our critical assignment is worth 200 points, and you need to pass the critical assignment in order to pass the class. I don't anticipate any issues with there, especially with as well as you've been doing so far in this course. It is due on it says day 1 of week 8. Now, that is going to be February 26th, so we have about 10 days to get this done. Remember that no late work is accepted for our critical assignment, so we need to get this in on day 1 of week 8. And also remember that we submit all of our critical assignments through TaskStream. So here in OPS, day-to-day, week in and week out, we operate through Blackboard for submitting our work, but all critical assignments are submitted through TaskStream. So there is a step-by-step navigation of how to go through TaskStream or to submit through TaskStream. If you haven't used TaskStream before, what you're going to do is you're going to have your narrated PowerPoint. You're going to upload that to TaskStream. You're going to submit it. You're going to get a reply back that says it's submitted, and then it ends up in my box. I'm going to grade it. Once I grade and submit it, you are then going to receive a message that says it's been graded. You can then go back into TaskStream. You can see your grade. You can see any replies, any critiques that I have given you, and that's the process through TaskStream. But remember that we need to upload this through TaskStream. So I'm going to break down this quick little opening paragraph little by little, and so we know that we can use our organization, the current organization, or the organization that we're in. So, and I know that's probably been the path that a lot of us have been doing throughout these the several weeks. We're going to use the 5-point model, and I have that here in a little bit, and we're gonna utilize that 5-point model as a guide to navigating through this organizational change process. I need a narrated PowerPoint. You are going to be talking to me. So what that means is this project isn't how to build a beautiful PowerPoint. I'm not really interested in the PowerPoint itself. I'm interested in the content of the PowerPoint. I want to hear you navigate through. I want to hear you talk your way through this process. So don't spend hours on end trying to make the most beautiful PowerPoint. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in you speaking your way through and navigating your way through. I put that does not exceed 10 slides, and that's the logic behind that is I want these to be concise. I want them to be, they don't need to be, an entire dissertation of organizational change. So we want to keep it shorter is better than longer, as long as we get the content through. And if, like we talked about, we want to include elements from the reading. So if I were to tell you what is the objective that I want you to accomplish with this assignment, I want you to utilize what we have been taught in this class. Take that information, apply it to your organization, and notice how you can use the information from this readings and from this class to change your organization. So what I have here is I have that five-star model, and remember the five-star model it revolves around that strategy, that structure, the process, the rewards, and the people. So when you apply the five-star model to your organization, remember it doesn't have to, like when you're thinking of how you're going to change your organization, it doesn't need to be all of these elements. It doesn't need to, it can only be a couple of these elements. Only a few of these elements might apply. So what if I were to be in your seat right now and I were going to be making this project, the first thing I got to do is I got to figure out what is my organization. And that should be easy for you. By this point, we've already chosen what our organization is. You need to describe to me in an introduction about your organization. What is your organization? Who do you work for? How is it structured? Then you need to identify to me what the problem is with the organization. My current organization has issues with this, and this is where the five-star model can work because it guides you. Maybe you have problems with the structure or the people or the strategy, but you need to first identify what is the issue. Then you are going to present how you would change it based upon the readings, the information that was presented, and at the end you can conclude it with what you anticipate the change becoming. What is your end result? What is what you're hoping to accomplish through your change? So very simple. We start with your organization. Describe your organization. Describe what's wrong with your organization. Describe what you're going to do to change your organization, and hopefully what the end result is. That to me is the ideal presentation. And you're utilizing all that information that we brought into this course to detail what's wrong. You identified what's wrong. You're using the information to hopefully figure out how you're going to change it. And then at the end, what is that end result that you're hoping for? I listed here some of the topics because a lot of times, and I think as we described, these could be the building blocks. You know, in week 2, we talked about change implementation. In week 3, motivation strategies and change. Week 4, our culture, our ethics, and people alignment. Week 5, dynamics of change. And week 6, leading change. So one of these weeks, you might have really stood out like, my organization is lacking leadership. Everything is in place, but there isn't the ability for people to implement that because of leadership deficiencies. So I identified my organization, I described it, I told you that, man, leadership is my issue. Based upon the readings in week 6, we talked a lot about how we can lead change, and then I'm going to describe what I would do, and then hopefully what my end result would be. So, and then I can incorporate that into my 5-star with potentially the processes of leadership, maybe including that, maybe a little bit of the reward structure, maybe a little bit of the strategy. So you can see how the 5-star model is nothing more than a guide. So don't think that you need to answer all 5 of these. It is nothing more than a guide. What I want to see is that you're applying the readings, the information that was presented, in a scholarly fashion to identify the problem in your organization, utilize the readings on how you can change your organization, and ultimately what the end result is you're hoping to find. So in closing, let's look at the rubric for this. So remember, all of our courses here, we grade them in a 4-column scale where it's beginning, developing, accomplished, or exemplary. And then there's these 5 various different criteria that we're going to look at. So our first is presentation. How is it presented? The second is our ethical and civic responsibility. I would really like to see a Christian connection built into each one of your presentations, and especially through that ethical and civic responsibility is the perfect opportunity for you to incorporate that. Your research and your representation of the information that we presented in this class. Not so much spelling, but more the mechanics. I want your presentation to be fluid, and that you, as if you were presenting the information to me. So I'm looking at the mechanics, and then your effort and your performance. How well did you apply the information, the presented information, put it together? How much effort did you put into this? So that is our rubric for this week. So just in repetition, so that it sinks in. This critical assignment, 200 points. It's due day 1 of week 8 on the 26th of February. I am looking for you to bring to me your organization. You're going to present the change, so I need to know what the presentation or what your organization's problem is, what you intend to change, and how you intend to change it, and ultimately what you want to see at the end. That to me will build a good intro, conclusion, and the body of the presentation. Don't worry too much on the PowerPoint. I'm more concerned about the content. This has to be uploaded to TaskStream. And, oh, the ultimate question that everybody has, but how long does it need to be? Um, if I were to build this presentation and I were to put all these pieces together, I would say somewhere that in the 10-minute range, 6, 8, 10 minute range. I think I could capture all that information very clearly, concise, uh, not overkill, but then also hitting all this. So for some of you, I know that you need a number. So let's say roughly 6, 8, 10 minutes. I know that gives you a little bit of range there. If you're getting into the 20 minutes, you're going too much. And if you're getting this thing done in 3, 4 minutes, you need to add some content. But once again, any questions, any concerns, any comments, email me. Let me get those questions to me so that we can answer. And I look forward to listening finally, hearing your voices for all of these critical assignments. So that's all I have for now. If you have any issues at all, give me an email. Take care, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you or from seeing your presentations. Bye for now.